Hi guys, how is everyone doing? This is Diksha, PR manager at Gate.io, and I'm here with my show Crypto Daily with a lot of new updates, exciting updates about India and the rest of the world. I'm really excited today because we're going to be talking about a variety of topics. Things like DeFi, and which is really getting a lot of interest from the community, across the community. So many new players, and you must have seen in a lot of articles that we have K.io. We have announced that we're creating a DeFi network, which is going to be built on our public chain, which is super secure, K chain. So I'm also excited about it, and I want people to use it and see that how Gate is really 100% secure. And and this is just a glimpse, and I have some really exciting news from around the world. What's happening in Germany, for example, and we'll also talk about Bitcoin and and the bull run it might just see in the next couple of months. So let's get started, guys. Let's talk about India, right? I mean, I've been talking about the new draft that the government's working on, and it's going to get submitted, and people are speculating a lot of things, such as there could be a blanket ban on cryptocurrencies in the country, or there could be like a strategic ban on some coins, or variety of things. People are really speculating on the same. And on the other hand, you have a lot of new crypto companies, new blockchain companies that have opened in the country. They've started operations. A lot of new people are trading. The trading volumes have hit an all-time surge. So I mean, there's so many things happening, and if this happens, I mean, if the speculations were to believe, and if the blanket ban happens, it's going to be really sad because there's so much happened, so much development happened. Probably the fastest, um, this is the fastest stream that saw such a huge and a record breaking development, cryptocurrencies in the country. I mean, that might just like be so useless. I mean, it won't really hold any value anymore if there's a ban. But there are a lot of, all the techies and the tech communities really think that the government's not really gonna put a blanket ban on cryptocurrencies because there's so much traction in this field alone in the country and across the world that it's going to be really. I mean, even if you're like really slightly thoughtful about the space, the industry, and how it's going to impact the developing economies, this may not happen. But we've heard that the draft regulation is going to be submitted really soon, in a few weeks, to be precise. And and then that's all we're waiting for, at least in India. Um, I also want to talk about how some of the communities are really um, doing things around blockchain and cryptocurrency. So I've also talked about it in the past. The country's largest IT group, the National Association of Software and Service Companies, was really happy when the ban was uplifted in March. After which, this entire explosion of trading volumes and participation happened in the country. It's a great body. It's a huge body, in fact, and they were really supportive of the government's decision when they uplifted the ban. So this really speaks, that how the technical communities are supporting this particular function. And I also talk about how the Prime Minister also spoke about it in the last session. So, and also a couple of companies have introduced, like for example, TCS, which is an IT company. They've introduced like a crypto trading platform within them, within the company, for traders across the country, which is a huge step, right? And Infosys in May began supporting the Bangalore financial transaction platform developer, which is called Matic Networks, blockchain-based technology. Like they're supporting with, I think, with their development efforts, something like that. So it's, again speaks volumes about how some of these top tech companies are really supportive of this entire ecosystem and are excited about it at the same time. So if at all the crypto assets are prohibited in India after the draft is submitted, and when the rule comes, which is all speculation. I mean, the draft is being submitted is not in speculation, but people are talking about a ban as well, which we'll only know. It will definitely hinder the development of of the blockchain related technology and businesses that's growing. Also, a lot of altcoins, which play an essential role in paying compensation to the developers and all these blockchain businesses. So it's really going to impact this entire system. And as India aspires to be, the world's top IT leaders, that's where they're heading, and that also looks like, because the technology appetite in India is really really strong, and it's growing really really fast. So the policymakers will need to consider how their decisions affect the industry. So it's really important. Sorry about that. So no matter how it is shaped and how the draft bill will almost, the draft bill that's going to be submitted, it's really going to trigger a massive debate in the crypto economy involving policymakers and the entrepreneurs in the blockchain and crypto domain and the technologists in the tech industry and even the academics, in the industry. So the outcome of the debate will determine whether India is going to continue to play a significant part in the new technology of blockchain and cryptocurrencies, which may create a new industry and thousands and lakhs of jobs as well. So that was my perspective, on this particular thing. Now let's talk about Bitcoin, which looks so exciting at this point. We all know a few weeks back it moved above $12,000, and at this time I think it's around at 11.3 K USD, and people are saying if it breaks 12.5, it's going to take an extremely bullish trajectory after that. People are also comparing it that it might just repeat what happened in 2017, might just touch 20k by the end of the year or Q4. So as usual, it's really important to know that even in a bull market, corrections down to the 20-week moving average, it's highly possible and probable. So this is exciting, and we all are waiting to see whereas 2020 will take Bitcoin and all the Bitcoin hodlers, including me. So, and that's really my take on Bitcoin, and I'm very excited, as you can see. The next really important and exciting news is about how Germany is, as a country, is really moving forward with a structure to modernize its security laws with the introduction of provisions catering to blockchain companies and asset-based businesses. And it was reported that German finance minister will be working on a draft law with the primary goal of creating a structured legal framework for digital currencies, precisely. And it may also include the issuance of tokenized assets to people and to businesses. Also, Stancy has successfully leveraged blockchain technology to conduct Bangladesh's first blockchain trade transactions, and this entire transaction was reportedly paperless and completely digital. So even Bangladesh is now on the blockchain map and is moving ahead. DeFi. Now, this is a topic that is everywhere, like literally everywhere. It's reached $6 billion US dollars in total in terms of its value. Value lock, like 6 billions have been locked in DeFi already. while Grayscale, hit the same milestone in total, plus it's really exciting because DeFi is really the trend today, and there's so many new protocols, DeFi protocols that are being launched, so many new networks that are being launched. So let's talk about how do we measure and compare these DeFi protocols? What are some of the metrics and that today are considered to compare the DeFi protocols, and what are the metrics that we should probably consider as the space continues to grow so fast? So we all know MakerDAO was the undisputed king of the DeFi space for quite a while, and it actually was it used to hold around 90% dominance in the space, until last year or so. But since then, things have changed, as I said, and we've seen an explosion in emerging DeFi protocols, and which means Maker now has a lot of competition, and yeah, I mean, it's already been dethroned twice in the last few months. I mean, obviously, this kind of a competition, it's also a healthy competition, but it's only going to continue right from here because DeFi is growing so much. It's really exploding, to be precise, and it's going to get more and more rootless. And every protocol is really trying to get that liquidity, or getting those users and the community attention, and the mind share from the trading institutions and businesses. So I mean, where is it gonna end, and how do we move forward, and how DeFi is gonna move forward? Well, this is a very interesting question or a debate, because not all DeFi networks are equal, or are created equal, or are not created for, you know, um, I mean, their technology is not exactly the same, and their vision is also not exactly the same. So that's why they're not created equal, as I said. And the total value locked, which is the metric I talked about, like the 6 billion US dollars being locked in DeFi, is actually one of the metrics that that today we're using as an industry to measure protocols, DeFi protocols, and their performance. Um, but is it the right way to do it? I mean, that's really a debatable topic, and it's something to ponder on as the DeFi industry or the space is growing. For example, trading volume is much more important for protocols, like Balancer and Uniswap than the total volume logged. I mean, the trading volumes are equally important, and because the revenue generated across these platforms, across these protocols, is also a very important metric to keep in mind. Um, while the total volume log is like a very superficial metric, for a lack of a better word, and it also favors certain protocols. If I may say so, because some of these protocols have been in the industry for a while now, and they've obviously like more mindshare from the community, and also their liquidity is better than some of them because they've been in the market for a longer period of time. So total value locked by default um, is is a little superficial metric. It's not really looking at the overall picture. It's really looking at like a it's like a very vanity-ish kind of a metric at this point. But TVL, I mean, the total value locked is still one that really defines the industry and is being followed across projects and industry. And the communities will actively um, support for the favorite protocol, for them to overtake one another and become the leader. And they may even go as far as rooting against protocols or tokens, right? Based on how, if the fundamental technology in some of these protocols is not that strong, if it's something that they don't support, Yeah, to so that's hi, nice to meet you. So the teams behind these protocols also sometimes get involved in, in other projects, but it's not that common as of now. But it's usually I mean, you must have seen on Twitter this the cross management between protocols is is something that we rarely see, and that's something is being noted. So will the industry soon will move away from this metric, which is not looking at the holistic picture at this point? I mean, we already have many other ways to measure the growth and the performance of these metrics, including, as I said, the trading volume, or probably tracking the revenues. That's which is done traditionally in the companies before we really talk about the trading volume. And yeah, I mean, the PE, the PNE ratios, the volume to market cap. What's the market cap and what's the volume and what's the ratio between these two. That's also something that can be used to see how they're performing, how the particular networks are performing. So, I mean, all these metrics combined may really help you to accurately define the success, um, and the traction that they're getting in the market or in the community, and whether it is really moving in line of their vision, or the goal that they kept in mind while they're creating the protocol of the network. So, we're gonna see if that becomes standard as TVL is, or is it still going to take some time for the industry to get accustomed to new metrics when it comes to DeFi. So, well, that's something that I wanted to share with you, and that was all for today. And I hope you liked the session. And as I said last week, we have launched an announcement saying that we're creating and we're working actively on creating our DeFi network on GateChain, which is going to support USDG as stablecoin, and we'll also have the GateChain tokens, which is our native coin of GateChain. So it's an exciting news, and we will keep you posted on this and how we're moving forward with this, and what are the new things that we're introducing, and what are the new features that we're introducing within Gate.io as well. So we'll keep you posted there as well. And yeah, I'm really excited to see what this brings to the table, our new DeFi network. So that was all for today, and I had a nice time chatting with you guys, and I'll see you next week. Bye bye.